Hello and welcome to episode 6 of my Ironman Collection Log Series. It's a kind of magic. Let's start today's episode off at a mage training arena, and especially in the enchantment room, because we're going for 5 collection log slots in mage training arena, and I'm gonna show like a little bit of every room. Basically what you can do when you join the room, you can run around once and then collect all of the dragon stones and enchant them. Basically what you want to do is use the highest enchantment spell you can use to get the most points, and then the enchantment room is kinda easy, like one of the faster ones in here. What I need is 13.5k points in the enchantment room to get all of the stuff that I need right now. And as you can see, I tried at least a little bit to get the one that gives you bonus points. You don't really need to do that. That's more if you're basically focused. You could also just stay at one of those spots. But nowadays, since they switched it around a bit and every corner has all of the different colors and shapes, you can kind of walk between them. You can also, what I'm doing is I run to the middle and deposit them. You don't really need to do that. You could also just drop them. I basically just did it to get a little bit more mage XP. It might not even be worth it because you get more mage XP just staying there. But for me it was more chill doing it like that instead of just dropping them. It's way more click intensive to drop, and I just, like the whole series up to this point, basically just tried to do it as relaxing as possible and not burn out from doing something like mage training arena because I'm clicking all the time. After the enchantment room, I went ahead and got into the graveyard room. This room is super chill nowadays after the update that they did, where you don't get chunk damage all the time without chip damage or chunk all the time without being able to dodge it. So you just stay there. I use the inventory viewer plugin, so it shows me how full my inventory is. You can also see the little number there. Once it's above 16, you get your 2 points. And especially when you have Bones to Peaches unlocked, this room is super chill nowadays. I needed in here 1300 points, so it's not too much, but it's still, it takes quite a bit to get all the points together. But as you can see, it's pretty easy nowadays. You don't take that much damage. And after the graveyard room, I went into the alchemy room. This room is my least favorite room. It might be, for some people, it might be their favorite room, but I really don't like this room. You basically just go ahead and try to figure out which one of these cupboard thingies has the item in it that gives you the most points or most coins per high alch, and then you deposit it. And I really hate this room. You're just standing there, and basically you have to do nothing and then have a minute time to high alch all your shit. And yeah, I don't really like this room. It's just a big, for me at least, a big time waste to be in here. I needed 1450 points in the high alch room, and once I was done with it, I went over to the telekinetic room and telegrabbed my way there. This room used to be my least favorite room pre-update. And nowadays, since you can run while the telegraph is in the air, it speeded up the whole process by quite a bit and made it pretty good compared to, at least for me, to the high alch room. There aren't that many layouts that you can get, so when you are in here for quite a bit, you don't really need the plugin anymore to show you where you should stand. You just basically know where you need to stand just from seeing the image. In this room I also needed 1.3k points, and those go by pretty fast, and you can still do quite a lot of stuff on the side, like watching Netflix, YouTube or whatever while you're in here. So I didn't really mind this whole grind from Mage Training Arena. Quite a lot of people hate it because you don't really get like any like good loot or a high GP or whatever. But when it comes to collection log slots, I think they are pretty chill compared to a lot of different stuff that you could get. Once I got all of my points together, I was basically out of nature and law runes and water runes and basically all of my runes. So it was cutting it pretty close, but I had enough enough runes basically. I think I had to buy like 150 natures or something, but everything else was looking pretty good when it came to my runes. And as you can see, I didn't have that many before, so I went ahead and bought the master wand. That was the first thing that I got. That's why I have the beginner wand in my inventory right now. So we got the apprentice one, and I wasn't really sure if my math was correct. I think that's something everyone says that, well, when they get all their points here. But you're always doubting yourself and think, oh no, I have to go
collection log.
Yeah, so I got my master wand, I got the mage book, which should be my best in slot for quite some time now, and the infinity head, and luckily my math was correct and I got all the slots that I needed. After the mage training arena, I figured what would be a good way to get all of my runes back, so I went ahead and got to Guardians of the Rift. I'm gonna start off with showing one Guardians of the Rift run and basically walk you through it. The first thing I'm gonna say is that 100% you should get like these 10 uncharged cells that you see in my inventory. I only have 9 because I did a run before that. But get those. You're gonna lose less rounds because you're placing your barriers. And you also get points for it and rune crafting XP, so it's basically a triple win. And you don't... it has nothing to do with a lot of people typing in-game always saying, oh, Ironman didn't do their job or whatever. It's just the normal banter at Guardians of the Rift. People blaming Ironman for not placing the barriers. But you should definitely do it. It gives you points in both catalytic and elemental energy. So just do it. Yeah, when the game starts, it's a bit sad that they reverted something that you could do. You could basically stall yourself and then automatically start mining stuff at the beginning of the round. Maybe you can still do it, but I haven't figured out how. If someone of you knows it, you can tell me that in the comments maybe. So I can do it from now on then. What I'm doing is, since I don't have a colossal pouch, I'm basically mining here since like 90 seconds time since last portal, or 30 seconds which you can see left in the left right. 30 seconds is there. Those are basically my two marks that I go off of. So those are the timings to reach the first portal for me, at least. You could stay a little bit longer, but then you're cutting it really short to not first portal, for first what are they called again? Like altar thingies. Once you're in there, then afterwards, after your first craft, you get your first portal. So that's basically why I tried to do it like that. And I didn't have even 75 rune crafting when I started, so I only could use the 3 pouches that I have right here that you can see right now. So now the first Guardians opened up. I could go in there. I always try to go into the highest one as possible, so they give you more rune crafting XP and they give you more points when you place the barrier, so I try to focus those. Only when I needed to get more potential for elemental or catalytic, I focused one of those sides. So as you can see now, you crafted your first runes. I deposit them because that's the whole reason I did it. Sometimes you have a little bit of a time off before the first portal starts, so you can mine some more fragments. But basically, right when you deposited your runes, this portal opens up. You get those, get to these bigger mining areas where you get the finished fragments already, so you don't need to process them again. And something that some people might not know is that you don't need a chisel in your inventory to do this minigame if you don't want to make the protective guardians. So that's basically all you have to do. Once you're in a rhythm, it's pretty easy to do. You don't really have to focus that much. From time to time, you're gonna zone out so much that you forget basically if you've just been at the greater guardian, or if you need to process your own thingies. But for that, basically you can see again, in the top middle that there's this time since portal. I don't think it could come up before 90 seconds. So you have enough time. You can always check up there. That's what I meant to say. You can always check up there if there's another portal spawning or not. And if you do it the way I just said, I got around like 6 to 7-ish, maybe sometimes 8 points per round with just these 3 pouches that I had. Because sometimes you get another portal right at the end to be over with. And then you get one more runecraft in, so you get a little bit more points. When you have the colossal pouch, what you would want to do in this scenario, when right at the end another portal opens up, is just gonna stay there. But for me, it was never a problem to get enough fragments going to basically completely fill up my pouches every time I ran in. While the rest of the clip is running with the one run that I did, I'm gonna talk a bit about the amount of XP that I gained. As you can see on screen right now, I gained 8 rune crafting levels, 3 crafting levels, and sadly no mining level. But I already started with 83, so it was to be expected that I didn't get any. Overall, I gained quite a lot of rune crafting XP. I didn't expect to be that long in here for the amount of collection log slots that I needed, but I was a bit unlucky, as you can see later on. The other thing that was kind of sad, or what I didn't really know, is that you need Sins of the Father done to get to blood rune crafting. I was super happy once I hit 77 because I could go into the blood altar as well, and I was, yeah, like I said, really happy to go in there, so I could almost always guarantee going to the highest one possible, because quite a lot of times there was the blood altar and the air altar open, and then I had to go into the air one because I couldn't go in there. But I couldn't be bothered to go and do Sins of the Father at that time, because I was pretty sure that I'm not gonna stay here so much longer until I'm done. So yeah, I figured out, let's just live with that. But at the first time I saw the message that you needed Sins of the Father to go in there, I was a bit down from it. But overall, you kind of get to like this area when you're in here, because you get to zone, just like MTA, you get to zone out. You still have to focus on doing it, but it's not as hard to focus on it because it's more it's time based, but in a way that it's always the same time that you need to do stuff. And if you don't really sweat it in like small teams where you need to be almost tick perfect to get everything done, I did it in the mass worlds, so then it's pretty chill. And even if you maybe sleep a bit at the beginning and don't get all the stuff you need, you're still gonna make it. So it's overall, I would say, quite enjoyable to do Guardians of the Rift. And when you get into the focus of just getting the points and don't really care about the XP, or the other way around, whatever is like better for you to stay motivated, it gets, like I said, pretty comfortable in there. I kind of like the aesthetics of this area, I have to say. I think it's pretty cool looking area, and I would say one of my favorite additions when it comes to mini games they did kinda recently to the game. The last thing that I'm gonna say is that I also went ahead and basically opened up always at around like 20-ish points each, because I still need quite a lot of stuff that would make my life easier in here, like the needle or the lantern. So I decided to basically go out every around 20-ish points. Or if I was a bit on the risky side, I went ahead and maybe opened up 30 at one point. But other than that, I figured out it would be the best way for me to just open up them as I go. You can also see, or just as I just shown, that I have my Abyssal Pearls on me, because I use the repair option in game to get my pouches repaired and not to be on the NPC contact spellbook. And to get my rune pouches repaired. As you can see, I started out with about 320 rift searches. So I was not unlucky when I started, but I got kinda unlucky when I was done. Let's move over to some pulls, and I'm gonna call back in whenever I get something nice. With this pull, I was able to get enough pearls together to buy the next remnants of the eye piece, which is the rope top, one that you can get every rope piece of them. Basically gives the same effect, so it's best to go from cheapest to most expensive one first. And doing that, that's basically the way I did. I still needed like enough pearls to repair my pouches while I was in there, which is why it was pretty lucky that I had 7 pearls left afterwards. So yeah, back to the music. I honestly did not expect to get the tarnished locket so early, because I only needed 27 pouches for it, which is kinda lucky. But I was also pretty happy to get it, because now I can always teleport right back in here without needing the minigame teleport, or or just teleport here through the portal itself. So that was kinda nice. To get it out of the way early on, especially. And afterwards, I got another good pull,
the
Collection Log, catalytic talisman. So I don't need any other catalytic talismans anymore, which is kind of nice that you can free up some bank space in that way. Since I was only 80 pearls away from getting the last remnants of the eyepiece, I decided to go ahead and farm 40 more points, which is about the amount of points you need for 80 pearls. It should be around somewhere a bit more than 2 points per pull. And I was lucky to get, or not lucky, I got the amount that is to be expected, which is a bit over 2 per pull. So I was able to buy the last piece that I need for now. I sadly didn't get the needle or any of the recolor pieces, but at least I was done for now with the Guardians of the Rift. And I also really like the outfit, like just the look of it. Now, in 600, almost 600, a bit over 650 pulls, I think it's an okay-ish luck that I had, but I was a bit unlucky in my opinion. And as you can see now, I have a lot of more lore, nature runes, and everything else. So it's just what I needed or wanted basically. I got the runes back, so I don't have to buy myself like laws and natures. So I think it was a good idea to go back here. And on that note, we're gonna wrap up the episode with 9 more collection log slots, and I think a good progress as well with 381 in total. If you like this episode, feel free to leave it a like and also subscribe if you don't want to miss any more episodes. Bye bye!